Shalom. Before I get started, I want to start by saying Call Halayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rakwakadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect out there laboring on and believe in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rakwakadash. To USA Shalom. This is the brother Amawan from the GMS Charlotte camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakwakadash. In this lesson, I want to do a response to the lesson that the elder brother from our camp, Ashiar, his page is GMS Upon Precepts, he did on the Rich Man and Lazarus breakdown, and I just wanted to add my 2 cents, and pretty much how I'm gonna go about it is just to expound off what he did. So a lot of the scriptures I'm gonna bring out is the same ones that he brought out, and just add a couple more that came to my spirit while watching this video. So I'm gonna begin here in the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 8. Luke 16 and 19. It says, "There was a certain rich man," which the rich man is speaking about the so-called white man Esau Edom. It says, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, which that purple represents rulership, and his royalty. Okay, all right, and fine linen because Esau has been living, luxuriously. Okay, and it says, and fared sumptuously every day. All right, now going to this word. Sumptuously, it says splendidly, magnificent, luxuriously, brilliantly. So Esau has lived a good life. This is his heaven. So he's lived excellent. All right, and to further go into that, this is the book of Psalms 17 and 14, which reads, "From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life." And Esau has been able to live exactly how he wanted to in his life, because like I said, this is his heaven. He's able to do the things that he want to in this world. And he's lived excellent, man. He makes the rules. He can break the rules because this is his system. But in all actuality, man, this is Esau's heaven, man. All right. And to further go into that, another precept just came to my mind. Let me see if I can find it. That's not it. Because like I said, this is his world, man. He can do as he pleases. And they don't suffer the same sufferings that we suffer, because like I said, he can get away with what he wants in this world, man. Alright. Bear with me. See if I can find it like this. Psalm 73 and 5. "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." Right, because like I said, this is his world. All right, he's able to prosper in this world, because even though this devil made the laws that we have to abide by in this world, all right, he can break his laws and pretty much get away with whatever he wants. But when you got, Manly Jake that, commit the same crimes that these Edomites do, all right, Esau don't suffer the same punishments that Jake suffer, because this is Esau's world, man. All right, so he's able to prosper in his wickedness because this is his world, man. So he doesn't have to worry about suffering, because he made the rules, so he can break the rules, man. Okay, so jumping back, Psalm 17 and 14, it says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. So it says that they whose bellies thou fillest with thy hid treasure. And that hidden treasure is talking about the nation of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, because off of us, this devil has gotten rich, man. All right, he's able to prosper off of us because he has the most precious gift in the world, which is you children of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. All right, and the proof of that, this is the book of Psalms 135 and 4. It says, for the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. All right, now let's get this word peculiar. Let's see what it says. In fact, let's go to the etymology and get the word peculiar. All right, the word peculiar, it means belonging exclusively to one person. All right, and the main point I wanted to get is in peculiarity, which means exclusive possession, private ownership. All right, which means that, hey, we are exclusively owned unto the Most High, man. All right, we are owned by the Most High, which means that no other nation has access unto us except for the Most High. All right, but Esau has taken us, and he has hoarded us out unto the other nations, and pretty much, he's gotten rich off of our backs, man. All right, because at the end of the day, man, like I said, we belong to the Most High, man. All right, and because the Most High, has hidden his face from the world. All right, the people don't acknowledge us as being the children of the Most High. So with us being the Most High's possession, we are the Most High's hidden treasure because, hey, we're the chosen people of the Lord, man. All right. So jumping back, Salakia, it says, for the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. All right. So we are the Most High's, hidden treasure, man. All right. So, going back to Psalm 17 and 14. It says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of this world which have had their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Right, because Esau has taken and gotten rich off the children of Israel, and this generational wealth, which is talking about, they have went and passed it down to their children. That's why Edomites unto this day still profit off of the pain, blood, sweat, and tears, and the free labor of the Israelites, man. All right, they are still profiting off of us, man. All right, and go into that a little further. Go into that generational wealth. This is Job 21 and 7. Wherefore do the wicked live? Behold, wherefore do the wicked live? Become old. Yea, are they mighty in power? And they are, because how's Esau got rich? How is he in power? Because he has profited off of the back of the Israelites, man. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Right, because the money that they made off of Jake's labor on them plantations pretty much has been passed down from generations. That's why, certain corporations such as Johnson & Johnson, you go into the Barclays Center, and the list goes on, but then the main two that come to my mind, they still to this day profit off of slavery, man. All right, and the Edomites that own these companies, they're able to pass this wealth down from their generations all because of the blood, sweat, and tears that were put in from the Israelites, man, that made them rich, man. Verse 9, their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. Their bull gandereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like the flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth and go down, and go in a moment and go down to the grave, right? Because all the things that it named, Esau makes profit off of Jake. Going back to slavery up until now, man. All right? Because who was the one that was out in the field, being the farmers for Esau? Who was the one that was out there picking the cotton, doing all the free labor for Esau? It was Jake, man. All right? Esau's family ain't had to go out there and put no work in the fields, man. All right? They families, all right, while they was in the house eating good, enjoying life, you had Jake out in the field pretty much slaving their life away, man. Because the moment that a so-called Negro boy was able to walk, or even girl was able to walk, all right, they got introduced to that slave lifestyle, man. And they were out there in that field picking cotton. And if they didn't meet their quota, they got their ass whooped just like an adult or an elderly, man. All right. It says, verse 12, they take the timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their life in wealth and go down. It's like in a moment go down to the grave, right? Because at the end of the day, they've lived their life in wealth because they've made the money off of Jake's back, man. All right, so they don't have no issue with pretty much having to live check to check or live in debt because they're rich off of Jake's back, man. All right. So going back, Luke 16 and verse 20. It says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus. All right, and Lazarus is a representation of Israel, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, which was laid at his gate full of sores. All right, and the sores represent the poverty, the slavery and oppression that we had to face as a nation, man. All right, and to further prove that, 2 precepts. All right, the one the elder went into first and foremost. Let me get that. This is in the curses, Deuteronomy chapter 43. It's like in chapter 28, verse 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right. So we're under this damn devil. He's the head, and we're the tail. We have to go to the devil for the one of all things, which is another curse that's in this chapter, man. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Because at the end of the day, man, hey, Esau controls how we live, man. All right? So it shows you we're not in the power seat, man. All right? Try to look it up, man. I know it's in that chapter, though. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And that's what Esau has done, man. All right, he's pretty much made us have to go pay for everything to him. All right, we want anything in this life, we have to go through him to get it, man. Even our God-given rights, man. Food, water. All right, we have to go to Esau for the one of all things, man. All right, and it said that he shall put a yoke of iron upon our neck until he have destroyed thee. And he did that during chattel slavery, man. All right, you can Google pictures. Just type in on Google, Israelites with a yoke of iron, on our neck. All right. Well, Slocky, black people were the yoke of iron. Matter of fact, let me do that, man. You know, because at the end of the day, man, this is proof that this is talking about the so-called white man doing this to the so-called black man, man. And it's not even just the so-called black people; it's the other tribes too, man. All right, the so-called Latin tribe and the so-called Native Americans. All right, but let me pull this up, man. Showing you that this got to be talking about Jake, because who else went through this, man? Who else had this put upon them, man? You know, this is talking about Jake, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. All right, and matter of fact, let me continue to show you. It's not just you niggas, man, because y'all take pride in that too, man. But you know, let me show you this too, man. All right, so the Northern Kingdom, which consists of the so-called Native Americans and the Latinos, they had to experience that yoke of iron being put upon them as well. Honestly, they had to go through that first. All right, before the Southern Kingdom, got taken down by Esau, man. All right, but this is just further proof to show you that both tribes are in captivity, under the so-called white man. So showing you that that's not just talking about you so-called Negroes, man. All right. Matter of fact, quick precept just to further go into that. Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. All right. So we all had to suffer under the so-called white man's tyranny, man. We had to go through the hell of being enslaved under Esau. Why? Because that was the curses of the Most High. We just read, man. All right. So going back to that Luke, all right. Luke 16:20. It says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus who was laid at his gates full of sores. All right. And so, like I said, man, those sores represented the poverty, slavery, and oppression. All right. And one more precept to prove that, because we're the only people that suffer that oppression, man. This is Isaiah 42:22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver, for a spoil, and none save restore. Right. All right. Our people are destroyed because we have been robbed and spoiled. We've been exploited for pretty much capital gain, man, because these Edomites have gotten rich off of the labor of our people, man. All right. So, hey, our people are full of sores because we have been destroyed by Esau, all right, for that money, man. All right. So, continuing on, Luke 16:21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, all right, and those crumbs, all right, that represents pretty much Jake, we've been, struggling to make it, all right. Our people, make the ends meet, trying to survive, and we're barely making it, man. All right, you can look at that of how, hey, we survived during slavery, man. We survived during slavery, eating the crumbs of off Esau's plates, man. All right, and that's to this day, man. All right, our people struggle to get by, man. Okay, going into that even further. This is Haggai chapter 1 verse 6. You have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So our people are barely making it. We're barely surviving because we are the most money deprived nation on the earth, and that mostly being because despite all the free labor we have done until this for this devil, we're the only nation that has not received any type of reparations or any type of financial gain from slavery, man. All right, because when you go into the history of when Esau, pretty much put hell on the other nations, all right, he paid them out. You go back even to give an example of that. You go back to Pearl Harbor, after Ammon, the so-called Japanese, they bombed Pearl Harbor. All right, Esau went over there and pretty much destroyed them. All right, had them the Moabite, them Ammonites over here, and put them in slavery. Had them build a railroad. All right, he gave them reparations. He gave all these nations reparations except for Jake. He's even doing that with Moab to this day, But Jake, man, we're the most poorest people on the planet. Why? Because hey, we suffer from them curses, man. All right, and we barely make it. As soon as we get our checks, man, hey, it pretty much goes towards bills. And hey, we live literally check to check, man. All right, jumping back. Luke 16 and 20. It said, 21, Salakia, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And who are the dogs? Talking about the other nations, all right? Because all the other nations outside of Esau has had a hand in helping Israel become destroyed and stay destroyed, man. All right? And the proof of that, 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? Because all these nations have a part in Israel being destroyed. That's like you go into like the elder said, man. You go into these gas stations and corner stores, man. You got Ishmael and Ammon. It's like Ishmael and Elam, selling straight poison, malt liquor and cigars and junk food to Jake. All right, you got Chinese food in the Jake neighborhood where Jake loved eating that damn so-called chicken, which you don't know what the hell these damn Ammonites is fixing up. It may be rat, dog, whatever. Anyways, man. All right, but these other nations have all had a hand in keeping Israel down, man. And to further go into that, showing you that none of these nations are innocent. All right, this is Psalms 83. And I'm going to start at 2, and I'm going to read down. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. So all these nations have came together on one accord to devise to take down Israel and make sure that our name has been taken out the earth. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, which what I just said. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it's going to go into the culprits. The tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arab, of Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon being the so-called Japanese, and Amalek, the so-called white man, but the chief tribe of the so-called white man, which is them 48ers over there posing as the real Jews. And the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre would go into the Hamites, man. All right, you so-called Africans. All right. You other nations have all had a hand in our captivity. And you can go into the history because you got people that try to, say, well, what have these other nations done to us? And you got to go into the history, man. All right. Read the different accounts in the Old Testament when these other nations that came up against Israel, man. All right. So, hey, these other nations have all conspired together to take us down as a people, man. All right. And for you to deny that shows you have Stockholm syndrome, man. All right. But continuing on, back in Luke Go back. Slakia. Luke 16. I'm going to read 21 again. It says, and desiring to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And how they licked their sores is they benefited off of us, man. All right? Because not only Esau, these other nations, they benefit off of as well, because they help, keep us destroyed, man. They keep us in this lowly captivity, man. All right? Keep us low, Slakia, in this captivity, man. All right? Because the longer that we go into these nations and continue to buy the poison to keep us destroyed, all right, that's showing you that these motherfuckers have all had a hand in our captivity, man. All right. Zechariah 1:15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen. Why? It says that they are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Whew. It says they helped forward the affliction. All right. Because, hey, these other nations, they helped destroy Israel, man. And we went into that earlier, man. All right. Let's get another precept, man. Satan messing with my keyboard, man. So bear with me. Revelation chapter 11, verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. Who is the them? Being the Israelites, man. Because when you go into Revelation 11, it talks about the dead bodies, being the Israelites that don't know who they are, man. All right. And these other nations didn't tell us who we are. All right. So the earth, they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. It said that the nations, all right, they sent gifts one to another. And what was the form of them gifts? All right. Let's get that, man. Because at the end of the day, man, those gifts represent you Israelites, man. Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. All right. So they actually sold and traded our people for commodity, man. All right. So these other nations ain't off the hook either, man. Because when you go into the transatlantic slave trade, the main three culprits that helped put that together, first and foremost being Amalek, you so-called Jews, you 48ers. You got the Ishmaelites. All right, matter of fact, Slakia, the Amalek, they funded the slave trade. Ishmael built the ships, and Ham rounded us up, man. So them are the main three culprits, man, that funded the transatlantic slave trade. They got everything how it was to get us over here, man. All right. So they're showing you that these niggas, they all had a part in our downfall, man. All right. So none of these nations are innocent when it comes to redemption. All right. But continuing on, Luke 16:22, and it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom, which that represents, the elect, being, translated into them chariots, man. All right. And also it represents, Israel, obtaining that covenant that came, with being descendants of Abraham, which is that covenant being passed down to Isaac and to Jacob, man. All right. That, because when you go into that word bosom, let me get that. That's a heavy scripture, man. All right. That word bosom, all right, it means it says ship's hold. All right. Which the ships that we're going to be, put in is the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High, man. All right. Because on them ships, we're gonna see the destruction of Babylon and the destruction of Esau, man. All right. And to further go on with that, the bosom, it says Abraham's bosom, the abode of the blessed. All right. So let's see what this word abode means. The word abode means home. It says a place, a residence, or house. Hold on. Let's see. So what's the abode? What's the place of the Let's see. What's the place of the elect? The word abode means action of waiting. And what is the elect waiting on? The salvation and covenant from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. All right? And that was promised to Abraham through the covenant, man. All right? Israel, we have a beautiful thing waiting for us, man. Because the birthright, it tells us what we're going to receive if we, continue to stay, pretty much, we continue to stay, joined with Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the Spirit. But in our actuality, all Israel is going to receive the covenant in the kingdom of heaven. Just the elect is going to receive it first, man. Okay? So that with that being said, man, I'm going to continue reading. It says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And the rich man dying and being buried is representation of Esau and America being destroyed. All right? With no remnant being left of America, man, or Esau's rulership. All right? Verse 23. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom, which it says in hell, all right, that represents Esau going through pure hell in the kingdom of heaven. All right? Because Esau's going to catch it, man, because he put the Israelites through pure hell during his heaven. So with him seeing Lazarus, it says, and see if Abraham, see if Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom, he's going to see Israel in his glory in the kingdom of heaven. All right? So Israel's heaven is going to be Esau's hell, just like how Esau's hell is Israel's heaven, man. I mean, Esau's heaven is Israel's hell, man. All right? So while we are in our glory, hey, this devil's going to be in torment, man. And rightfully so. Because he hasn't done anything to pretty much, receive any mercy that he's going to cry for, which verse 24 going to get into. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in his flame. So this devil is going to cry for mercy. But at the end of the day, he's not going to receive it because he's going to have to drink that cup, man. All right? Because at the end of the day, man, hey, that hell is going to be put upon him. That's that cup he's going to have to drink, man. And get a few precepts for that. Psalm 75:9. Slakia 8. It says, for in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, and it is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. All right? And what's in that cup, man? All right? Slavery and destruction, man. All right? Because you damn devils is going to drink the dregs, every last ounce of that cup. Why? Because you made Israel drink of that cup, man. All right? So that cup's going to be passed on to you. But like I said, that cup the Lord made for the wicked, and yet you made Israel drink it, man. All right? Precept to that. Jeremiah 49 and I believe 12. It says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk it. All right. And with Israel drinking that cup, Esau and other nations have made sure that Israel have drank every last drop of that affliction, man. All right. And with us drinking that cup, man, that's why we're destroyed, man. All right. So it says, "And thou," it's like, "and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink." So all these other nations, especially Esau, was going to drink of that cup, man. But Esau being the main partaker of that cup, man. All right, you gonna drink every last drop of that, man. As it said, man, you gonna drink even to the dregs thereof, man. And we know the dregs is like the last little bit, that has all the stuff that's on the bottom of that cup, man. For brothers that take tinctures and whatnot, man. When you take that tincture, man, all the herbs that stay on the bottom that makes that drink bitter. All right, that's the worst part of that of taking that medicine. Esau is gonna drink every last part of that cup, man, even to the dregs thereof, man. All right, and the proof of that, this is Lamentation 4. Salakia. Lamentations 4:21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through thee, it shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked." All right. "Thy punishment and thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O children, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." Right. So it says, "The cup also shall pass unto thee." So you Edomites is going to get that cup. Y'all going to drink every last one. All right. And it says that the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, man. So, hey, once the Most High delivers us from this captivity, we will never go into captivity again, man. All right. Esau will never, ever be able to put Jacob back in captivity, man. Because it says what? Esau was the end of the world, and Jacob was the beginning of it that followeth, man. All right. So once Esau is taken the power, and the nation of Israel is put up in that power seat, there's not going to be any more change of power, man. All right, Israel is going to have the kingdom forever, and you Edomites is going to have that perpetual slavery, for them 1,000 years until your ass is taken out, man. All right, let me get one more precept. The book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 22. "For thus saith the Lord, for thus saith thy Lord the power, and thy power that pleaded the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again." Right. Why? Because when the Lord gives us the kingdom of heaven, there's going to be no more suffering in the nation of Israel anymore, man. We're going to finally be at rest, finally be at peace, finally be able to live a life without sin. All right. It says, "But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over." Right, because these nations trampled over us, man. So this is proof that not only Esau, but the other nations are going to drink of that cup as well, man. All right, because as I said, man, they are them dogs that licked our swords, man. So they took part in taking us down as a nation with Esau. They made that covenant with Esau to take us down. Therefore, they're going to drink that cup with Esau. Esau is just going to be the main participant in drinking that cup. But you other nations are going to drink it as well, man. Okay? So going back, Luke 16 and 25. I read 24 again. "And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in his flame." Right, because this devil, he's going to want mercy in that day when he's getting his ass whooped, man. All right? But here's that response. It says, "But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented." Right? So when you were in the power seat, when you were living your luxurious lifestyle, you didn't think about once showing Jacob mercy. To this day, we are still not being shown mercy because you're still trying to kill us until this day, man. All right. So because you have shown us no mercy, and in your height of power, all right, even in your fall of power, you still refuse to show us mercy. When we're in our fullness of power, we're not gonna show you mercy, man. All right, and that's scriptural, man. All right, let's get that. First and foremost, starting with the famous scripture in Zechariah 11:5, it says, "Whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." Right. So, you slay us in the street continually and don't feel an ounce of guilt for it. All right, to the point where you think the Lord blessed you because you're able to do what you want with us, man. All right, to the point where you can sell out our own people and make them participate in the murder of our own people, and you look at that as nothing wrong with that, man. All right, but when we call that out, all right, we're the ones spreading hate because we're calling out your misdeeds, man, your wickedness, man. All right, showing you the hypocrisy of you fucking devils, man. All right, continuing on, another precept, the book of Romans 9:18. It says, "Therefore have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will hardeneth. That will say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For whom have resisted his will?" Right. So the Most High is going to have mercy on whom he's going to have mercy. And the ones he's going to have mercy on is the nation of Israel. Because we're going to get the kingdom of heaven, man. All right. But you Edomites, as it says in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, you devils ain't going to receive no mercy. Actually, you're the only nation on the planet that has been promised not to receive mercy. Because even the other nations are going to receive a form of mercy, because after 1,000 years of their slavery, all right, they're going to go back and get their own lands back, but they're going to be tributaries unto the nation of Israel, man. So that's mercy. And also, all right, they're going to benefit from the kingdom of heaven because they're going to be able to really experience what true living is, man. Because under you devils, even the heathen aren't able to live life to the fullest, man. Because you have everybody, about to die, man. All right. So that's why you're not going to receive mercy. But verse 19 says, that will say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that replieth against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? All right. So who are you to speak against what the Most High has written and has planned, for the world? Because at the end of the day, the Most High has the story written, and he has a nation that's going to be delivered and ultimately be given the promises. He has a nation that's going to be destroyed. That vessel of honor is talking about the Israelites, and that vessel of dishonor is talking about you Edomites, man. All right. So the Most High has everything perfect. All right. So that vessel of honor is what's going to receive mercy, which is Israel, man. All right. And that vessel of dishonor is the one that's not going to receive mercy, which is Esau, man. All right. Salakia, that's not what I wanted. Let me see. Bear with me. I have one more. All right, this is James chapter 2, verse 13. And it reads, "For he shall have mercy without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment." All right. Slaki, I'm going to read that one more time. I butchered it. James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. All right. So the Most High is going to have judgment without mercy unto you Edomites, Why? Because you have showed no mercy. All right. You didn't show Jake any type of mercy to this day, man. To this day, you are still trying to destroy us, man. Even though we are in the lowest of low state, we have no type of fight against you devils. You are still plotting to destroy us as a people. All right. So the Most High ain't gonna have mercy on your ass, man. All right. So when we're in the kingdom of heaven, all right, you ain't gonna be shown an ounce of mercy, man. We're gonna have a continual foot up your ass until your time is done, man. All right. The only rest you're gonna receive in the kingdom is on the Sabbath and the high holy days, man. Other than that, you're gonna get your ass handed to you every second of the day, man. All right. And that's solely justified by the Spirit. Luke 16:25. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. And that great gulf goes into that separation between Jacob and Esau, man. All right. It says, and beside all this between us are you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which will pass from hence, that you cannot. All right. And it says, and that cannot be passed. We're talking about Esau not receiving no salvation. Esau can't get into the kingdom of heaven. All right. He's through, man. All right. He can't pass by that 1,000-year slave period, that hell that he's gonna inherit when he gets into the kingdom of heaven, man. All right. There's nothing he can do to get around that, man. All right. No matter how much he bitches and cries about it, all right, the Most High has it written. It's gonna happen, man. All right. And to further go into that even more, first foremost, starting Hebrews 12 and 17. For you know how that afterward, when he would have received, would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. All right, Esau was rejected from receiving the birthright. Because as you read, when you go into Genesis 25, Esau gave the birthright to Jacob for nothing. He just easily handed it over without even thinking about what he was doing, man. All right, so he was rejected from receiving that birthright ultimately because the Most High had it planned out that way from the beginning anyways, man. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So there's no way that Esau can wiggle out of that judgment, man. It's written, all right? And because of that, man, this devil, he wants to look at the Most High for being unrighteous, but look, end of the day, like we said, it's written. So there's nothing you could do about it, all right? Sirach 41:17. Slocky, that's not it. Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Right. All right, you've been lied to. All right, you Edomites have been fed the lies that, God is for you, that the kingdom of heaven, is for you. But at the end of the day, you're realizing that, hey, you've been lied to, man. You've been given, bullshit. And now you want to complain about God being unrighteous. Hey, but what's the scripture say, man? All right, let's get that, man. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Right, so it was written before Jacob and Esau was even born on this earth that Jacob was going to receive the birthright and be blessed, and Esau was going to be cursed. All right, before they even did anything good or evil, man. All right, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Yahweh Shem Yahushua forbid. Why? Because it was written. All right, it was written, man. All right, and the Most High is bound by His word, man. All right. Before Esau and Jacob was even thought about, the Most High already had a plan that Israel was going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, and Esau was going to serve Israel, man. You know, so there's nothing Esau can do about it, man. All right. So when you in that captivity, getting your ass whooped, you know, you just gonna have to eat that because we had to eat it, man. All right. We had to eat this every second of the day. We still eating it, man. You know, and you ain't did shit to try to make our burden even lighter, man. All right. Luke 16:29. Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Slaki, where I stop at? Verse 27. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into his place of torment. Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And the prophets is talking about, the men of the Lord that you see out here telling Esau he's going into slavery, man. All right. So we're letting Esau know what his future is, man. And no matter how much he hates to hear it, it's not going to change prophecy. Why? Because the Most High said that his word will not go out void. All right. And the Most High never changed. So what he said stands true from then all the way till now, man. So there's nothing you Edomites can do except take it. All right. We had to take it, and you motherfuckers going to take it, man. And that's it, man. That's the end all be all, man. So with that being said, that's the end of my lesson. I pray this was edifying. Until next time, I want to say, call halayim la Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to my apostle elders of great millstone, the time of this truth, and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.